Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with a Beth Israel rabbi. We had a wonderful Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur here at Congregation Beth Israel. Beautiful music, great simcha, great joy, and meaningful tefillah, meaningful services with really a packed house. Well over 15, 16, upwards of 1,700 people in our building at any given time. It was fantastic. At the end of Yom Kippur, with our children on the bima, as they've come up to the bima with their light sticks, and after Havdalah and the blowing of the shofar, we begin to sing and dance, and we sing and dance to the words of Bashana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. Many of us, of course, think of Jerusalem in this sense as being the Jerusalem that we fly to on an airplane, but it's not that Jerusalem. It's not the Jerusalem of the physical city, but rather it's the Jerusalem on high. Why are we singing next year in Jerusalem? Because we are anticipating that our tefillah, our prayer, our fast was so powerful, so meaningful, that it brought about redemption. Redemption of the individual, redemption of the nation. That is the reason that we sing Bashana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim on Yom Kippur. By the way, it's also the reason that we sing those same words on Passover as well in the months to come. Yom Kippur, as it finishes, we go on to break the fast, and then we build a sukkah. We build this temporary dwelling, again, with messianic overtones to it. What is it that we're looking for? We're looking for a redemption from the pain and the suffering in this world. We're celebrating out of anticipation of that happening. And yet, immediately after Yom Kippur, within hours, here in Canada, we had a terror attack in Edmonton, and then just hours later, the horrific events of Las Vegas, and we know that the world is not where we want it to be. We know that as nearly 60 people were killed and hundreds of people were injured in Las Vegas, that we have so much work to accomplish, so much healing, not just in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense, and in an emotional sense as well. We need the holidays of Yom Kippur and Sukkot. We need the ideas that come from these holidays to help us help the world change, to make it a better place. A natural human reaction to hatred and violence, like we saw over the last couple of days, is more hatred and violence. But it's not the Jewish answer. The Jewish answer is the opposite of that. It's why we build a sukkah in the first place, a temporary dwelling, a flimsy dwelling. A sukkah is barely a dwelling that can stand, that you can see through the roof. It reminds us of life itself, of the fragility of life, that things aren't always as they appear to be, that things can fall apart so easily as we are human beings. And yet we walk into the sukkah and we eat and we drink, and some of us even sleep in the sukkah. We go about our daily life in the sukkah, reminding ourselves that indeed life goes on, no matter what the question marks are around our life. And we bless God as being the God who yakimet hasukkah shalanu, who brings up and rebuilds our sukkah, Hasukat David Hanofelet, the sukkah of David that has fallen. And that is a metaphor for the Beit HaMikdash, for the temple. A reminder of the fact that God is indeed with us in this world, and that God will rebuild that which has been destroyed. That God will help us establish a time in which this world is redeemed, a time in which we no longer face challenges and difficulties. And that is why we not only eat and drink in the sukkah, but we also bless God in our Birkat HaMazon for the food that we have, and bless God for helping us to bring about our redemption, hopefully one day as we move on in time from the challenges and the horrible events that happen in this world. And in the Sukkah, and during the holiday of Sukkot, and in synagogue, we bring together a lulav and an etrog. It's lulav and etrog, which according to Sefer HaChinuch, reminds us of our lips and our eyes and our backbone and our heart, and reminds us that we need to bring all four of these together. We need to bring together our entire being in order to achieve the betterment of the world, in order to fulfill the very purpose of our holidays, the very opposite of what we've seen in the last couple of days, in order to bring shalom, in order to bring peace and wholeness to this world. And that is exactly why we sing. And that is exactly why we have simcha, joy, because we anticipate that beautiful day coming, hopefully very soon. Shabbat shalom. Chag Sameach.